Jai Sai Ram, Chapter 51, Story of Previous Birth of Snake and Frog. Story of Previous Birth of Snake and Frog. At one time, Baba, telling a story to devotees in the temple, said that one day after taking my breakfast at about 8, I went for a stroll. While walking, I reached the banks of a small river. I was tired, so to take respite, I sat there. After some time, I washed my hands and feet and took my bath. Then my tiredness got relieved. From that place, there was a footpath and a path for carrying a bullock cart only. On its both sides, there were dense trees. Sitting under a tree, I was just filling my chilam. I heard a terrible chattering voice of a frog. I was just rubbing chakmak flint while in the meantime a traveler came there. Coming to me, he saluted me and invited me to go to his house for food and take rest there. He flamed the chilam and gave it to me. Listening the chattering voice of the frog, he was eager to know the cause for it. Having a puff, he gave the chilam to me and said, "Let me. What is the matter?" Saying so, he started to go there. I told him a big snake had caught the frog in his mouth. For this reason, he was chattering. Both were very wicked in their previous births, and now they are suffering their deeds. The visitor went and saw at the sight of the event that truly a big snake had caught a big frog in his mouth. He came back and told me, in short, the snake will swallow the frog. I told that it can never happen. I am his protector, father, and this time I am present here. Then what is the power of the snake that he may swallow the frog? See how I protect him. After puffing the chilam a second time, he went at the place. The visitor began to afraid and he prevented him to go forward so that lest the snake may not attack. I am ignoring his words, went further, began to say to both of them that, "Oh Veerabhadra, say not your enemy got enough results so that he had the generation of frog and you the snake. Hey, now leave your enmity. This is a matter of a great shame. Even now, leave your enmity and live in peace." Listening these words, snake left the frog and soon disappeared in the river. The frog also ran away and hid into the bushes. The visitor was highly astonished. He did not understand that why the snake left the frog by hearing Baba's words and who were Veerabhadra and Chenbasamba. What was the reason of their enmity? This kind of thoughts began to rise in the mind. I returned back along with him under the same tree and after smoking the chilam and began to tell him the essence of it. Some 4 to 5 miles away from my place of living, there is a pious place where a beautiful temple of Mahadevji existed. The temple was in very dilapidated condition, so the residents of the place collected some donation to renovate the temple. Enough money was collected and making arrangements of daily worship, a scheme of its renovation was prepared. A wealthy person was selected as the cashier and he was entrusted the duty of looking after. The wealthy man was very miser in the renovation and spent less money off. So, the renovation of the temple was also done accordingly. He spent the whole amount and swallowed a part of it and did not spend a single penny from his pocket. His voice was sweet, so he came. Somehow the people understand and the renovation remained half done as earlier. People again united and went to him and began to say that, "Sethji, wealthy man, kindly complete the work soon. Due to the lack of your efforts, this work is impossible to be completed. Therefore, you again prepare a scheme. We will collect more donation and give it to you. People again collected the donation and gave it to the wealthy man. He took the money and still kept calm. After some days, Lord Shankar gave his wife a dream and said, "Get up and place a doom on the temple. Whatever you spend on this work, I will return you in 100 times." She told this dream to her husband, and wealthy man became afraid and began to think his work was more expensive, so put aside his matter laughingly, "That is simply a dream, and can it be trusted? If it was so, then could Mahadev not come to my dream and said it to me? Am I away from you? This dream is not good. This is to break the relation of husband and wife. Therefore, you keep totally quiet. What is the necessity for God of such money which was collected without the wish of donors? He is hungry of love and accepts even a frivolous coin of copper presented to him with love and devotion." Mahadev again said to Sethani, wife of wealthy man, "that you do not pay attention to these useless talks and riches collected with your husband. Also do not request him to erect the temple. I am hungry simply of your love and devotion. What you want to spend, you spend it from yourself." She, discussing with her husband, decided to sell the jewelry given to her by her father. Then the miser wealthy man became restless. This time he decided to deceive God himself. He purchased all the jewelry of his wife for just ₹1,000 and allotted a part of barren land for the temple, which his wife also accepted calmly. The land which the wealthy man allotted, that was not of his own. Instead, it belonged to a poor lady, Dabki by name, which was kept under mortgage for ₹200. As for a long time she could not repay the loan, therefore the wicked miser man deceived his wife Dabki and the god. The land was full of pebbles, so in spite of good rain, it could not produce a good crop. In this way, this exchange finished. The land was given to priest of that temple, and who became very happy to have it. After some time, a strange event happened. One day, a great storm came and rained heavily. Thunderbolt struck the house of the miser. As a result, both the husband and wife died. Dubki also died. In his next birth, he took birth in the house of a miser Brahmin of Mathura, and his name was Veerabhadra. His wife took birth in the house of priest of a temple. She was given the name as Gauri. Dabki took birth as a male in the house of a servant of a temple, and he was called Chenbasapa. Priest was my friend and used to visit me, talk to me, and smoked chillam with me. His daughter Gauri was also my devotee. She was becoming major day by day, due to which her father also remained worried for her marriage. I told him that he should not be worried. The bridegroom will himself come to your house in search of your girl. After some days, a boy of his own caste called Veerabhadrapa came to his house begging alms. With my consent, Gauri was married to him. Earlier he was my devotee, but now he had become ungrateful. In this new birth also, his lust for money did not destroy. He asked me to advise him some business because now he was carrying on married life. Just then a strange event happened. Suddenly the prices of all articles shot up. The demand of the land pertaining to Gauri became higher, and all the land was sold in 100 times more than the price of the gold. It was decided that it will be paid 50,000 rupees in cash and 2,000 rupees per year by installment. All accepted this exchange, but due to the partnership in the money, there arose a dispute between them. They came for advice to me, and I said that this land belongs to God, which was given to me, the priest. Gauri is its owner, and it is not proper to spend a single paisa without her consent, and her husband has got no rights on it. Listening my decision, Veerabhadrappa became angry and began to tell me that you want to swallow the riches of by misleading her. Listening these words, I took the name of God and sat calmly. Veerabhadrappa beat his wife also. Gauri came at noon, told me that I should not feel bad of their talk. I am your daughter. Please keep your blessings on me. In this way, she came to my shelter, so I promised her that I will protect her even beyond 7 seas. Then, on the night, Gauri had a dream. Mahadev came and told her, the whole property belongs to you and do not give anything from it to anyone. According to the advice of Chenbasappa, spend some money for the work of the temple. If you want to spend some money for anything other than go to the mosque and take advice of Baba. Gauri told her dream to me and I gave her pertinent advice in this subject. I told her that you take capital and give 50% of the interest to Chenbasappa. Veerabhadrappa has no concern to it. When I was telling this, just then Veerabhadrappa and Chenbasappa came there quarreling. I tried to console them and also told them of the dream of Gauri. Veerabhadrappa boiled in anger and threatened Chenbasappa to cut him into pieces. Chenbasappa was a coward. He catching hold of my feet to request for his protection. Then I relieved him from the enemy. After some time, they both died, and Veerabhadrappa became a snake and Chenbasappa a frog. Listening the call of Chenbasappa and remembering my previous words, I came here and in the way protecting him fulfilled my words. Jai Sai Ram.